Hey guys, Dan with Sterling Self Defense here. Just doing a little video on changing the O-ring on a new VKS. And you guys, we gotta know what to do and how to do it. Alright, first off, gotta take the barrel out. Push in, twist to the left. Barrel comes out. And the spring sometimes comes out now or it'll come out later. Sometimes it gets stuck in there. Put your barrel out of the way. Flip your gun over. Alright. And then you got two pins. Pin and pin. Just like an AR-15. Just gotta pop them out. They're a little tight the first time. Brand new ones are a little tight. Recommend working on a mat so you don't lose anything. It's very easy to lose stuff. Alright, take your low receiver off. Now, you have to take your regulator off to get the bolt out. Now there's two screws, one right here and one underneath the trigger. You got to take the little O-ring off. Now be real careful you don't lose it. It's real easy to lose. I've lost a bunch of them. That's why I recommend working over a mat. Alright, pull it off, put that down. You can see it. Now take the little arm off the trigger so you can access the screw. Pull your trigger back so you can take that screw out. Alright, the smaller screw is the one in the back underneath the trigger. Now I'll take the front screw out. Now it's the longer screw in the front. Now they have little lock washers on them. Really, they're just there to identify what screws they are. You don't really need to be lock washers. Alright, take your rag off. There you go. Put that aside for now. Have your rail out of the way. Now, this is where you need your tool. Your wrench. You can pick one up on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I'm going to lock that right in there. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. A little tight the first time. Careful you don't scratch it up too much. Alright, get that castle nut off. Take your rail off. Now, there's a little slot right in here. Take out your rear ASA. Loosen it up. Use the rounded back of the castle wrench. Alright, then you can screw it out by hand. Alright, and you got your charger. You can take that out too, around the top. Get this. And that comes out. Remember, you got to put that back in. This is your rear ASA assembly. That's your on-off. So your charger just sits in that little groove there. And that's what shuts the air on and off. Alright, so now you got that all apart. You got to get your bolt out. Oh, let me go get my barrel swab. Best way to get this out without scratching anything up is a good old cheap barrel swab. Good to have anyway, keep your barrels clean. They're not just for paintball. Pop that sucker out. And there you go. So that is your VKS bolt. Apart like that. And the O-rings right inside of there. It comes with a stock O-ring that's good to up to like 35 joules, but most guys want to go higher, so you want to change it out with a mil-sig. Best tool I found for doing that is like one of these dental picks. Got a little flat edges on there. You can get these on Amazon, but they do the job really well. Now stick your pick inside there, jab underneath the O-ring, get behind it to pull it out. Alright, just pull her out just like that. That's your stock O-ring, she's out. Now, putting a new one in is a little more difficult. Takes a little time getting used to how to do it. But the best way I found to do it is push it in, pinch it. Push it right in there, just like that. Now push it past there and catch it with the pick. It's hard to show the camera and see what I'm doing at the same time. But catch it with the pick and you gotta pull it up into the groove. Get one side in, pull up the other side, you gotta work it in. Round ones are easier than the square, but these are the ones you want. I'll work that in there. I put my glasses on, I can't see much without them. Now, see, you got one side in there. I don't know if you can see it, but once you get one side in, you just gotta work up that other side and pop it right in place. Not real hard once you get used to it. I've done thousands of them, so they're pretty easy. But every once in a while, you're going to get one that's a pain in the ass and don't seem to want to go in. Take a break and go back to it. There you go. Popped right in, nice and tight. If you're having a hard time doing it, just take a break for a little while. Every once in a while, I get one that's a pain in the ass, just won't seem to go in. I take a break, walk away for a little while, and pop it right in. All right. And I recommend Ultra Silk on your bolts. This is when you want to lube up your bolt. Put a little bit on the inside to get in there for that O-ring. And take it, get all over your bolt there. Stuff's great stuff. By far the best I've used on lubricants. God, I wish I would have found this stuff years ago. It's great. Oh, and one thing, while you're doing this, check your firing pin. See the little screw there? Go in there, make sure it's tight. Don't loosen it up, just make sure it's tight. One problem guys are having is it comes a little loose. They fire with it, then it breaks the stem because it's wobbling inside. So just make sure it ain't loose. If it's loose, take it out. Get yourself a little red Loctite, put it on there, and put it back in. The best way to install your bolt, some guys sell a jig. It's a waste of time. Your air chamber is its own jig. Put your bolt on top of your air chamber, take the back cap off, and when you reinsert your pin, you go right through the back of the air chamber and screw it in. And if you can't get it tight with the screwdriver, or you're worried about getting it, scarring it up, you can use an Allen key on this side and tighten it up here. But just make sure you get it back into where it was and make sure it's tight. With the red Loctite, it'll never come out. You don't have to use a lot, just a little dab. All right, so while you have the regulator out, you might as well do your adjustments. It's a lot easier now than doing quarter turns when it's all together. So grab your Allen key, turn your velocity up. I just turn it up all the way and bring it back a little bit. A little tight, so don't bother counting anything like that. Just bring it all the way to the end. All right, when you're at the end, just back it up a quarter turn, and you're good. All right. Allen keys, there it is. All right, now, real important, just like your FSC, insert your bolt back in the back. Do it nice and easy so you don't mess up your air chamber O-rings. It's real easy to do. Just stick it in until you can access the bolt. Now you got to put your bolt forward if you want the fire again when you put it back together. Otherwise the sear won't catch. So you want to take your tool, slide it open. Now your bolt is open. So when you put your reg on and put everything back together and put your barrel in, it's going to catch the sear and you'll be able to fire. Alright, so back together the same way. You gotta hold that trigger up. Get that first screw, the small one. Remember, the small one goes in the back underneath the trigger. I can't see much of what I'm doing with my arm in the way. That's the back one. The back one is the shorter one. Alright, snug that up. Drop your trigger down. Grab your trigger arm. Stick it back on. Line it up with a little pin on the trigger. And grab your little O-ring. Stick it on your finger right there. Oh, and drop it like I just did, which you probably will. We all do. But luckily on the mat you can find it. On the floor you can't. And your O-ring back on. Then your other screw for the reg. There it is. Okay, now your reg is back on. Now you're going to want to stick your ASA in. Now when you're putting this in, remember you got to put your charging handle back in too. So you want to line that up so it's easy. So open up your on-off, pull it back to you. Get a couple threads caught in there. Or tighten it. Grab your charging handle, slip it in on a little angle. Push your trigger forward and drop it down. And it'll drop right into where it needs to be. Now, bring it in by hand as much as you can. Take your tool and tighten it up. And your castle ring. And then your receiver back on. Pin. Pin. Grab your spring, drop it in, shake it around, grab your barrel, push it in, twist it to the right, one click for mag fed, check inside, make sure it's lined up. That's for mag feeding. For hopper, you'll click one more time, you'll see the little arrows on there. That's mag fed. One more clip over, you go to the hopper. All right. That's it. We're all set. All right, guys. So pretty easy. Now you'll be able to do yours. Ain't very hard. And if you guys need any parts or anything for it, you can hit me up at sterlingselfdefense.com. All right. Till the next one. Take care, guys.